In this next clip, a guy heads back to his studio late at night after realizing he forgot his phone charger, expecting nothing more than a quick trip in and out. The kind of small inconvenience you don't think twice about, especially in a place you're familiar with. But the moment he gets to the entrance, something feels off. Watch closely.
Buenas noches, amigos. Oigan, miren, vine aquí al local porque se me olvidó mi cargador. Y ahorita que venía aquí casi por el bote de basura, oí que patearon la puerta. Y me puse a grabar, pero empecé a notar en la persiana que se movía. Miren, parece que se oye como se mueve la persiana, o sea, cómo cruje. Entonces ese polvo es polvo de la calle. Es que es una calle pues es de tierra. Miren. ¿Qué les dije? ¿Qué les dije a la verga? Miren, voy a entrar. Miren, para que vean que no hay nadie adentro. Todo en una toma. Ay, perdón con mis 20,000 vueltas, pero es una llave de seguridad. Miren. O sea, no ha salido nadie, miren. Voy a entrar. Voy a cerrar la puerta rápido. Miren. Voy a prender aquí la luz. Y miren. No hay nadie. Para que no digan que sí, que hay alguien adentro, no sé qué tanto. Ay, güey. Bueno. Ay, es que eso de la persiana sí lo había escuchado saliendo de aquí del local, pero la verdad no le ponía mucha atención. Miren, tuve que cambiar un poco las cosas del lugar porque cada año, pues, acomodar todo, ¿no? Me voy a asomar al baño para que vean que no hay nadie. Oye, ¿cómo está la puerta? Me traje el espejo aquí al baño. Miren, voy a cerrar otra la puerta para que vean que no pasa nadie. Me traje el espejo aquí al baño porque estoy remodelando, estoy reacomodando todo. Miren, no hay nadie. Miren. Que no digan que hay alguien escondido. Miren, yo estoy dentro del baño. No hay nadie. No hay nadie. Miren. Ok, miren. Voy a estar grabando así, que vean que no va a salir nadie. Miren. O sea, la puerta no se ha oído, no se ve nadie. No digan de que hay alguien en el baño. Miren, el espejo lo tuve que acomodar, está aquí colgado porque es un poquito más cómodo. Miren, está en pijama, ya andaba ahí. Miren. Noches con la misma pijama. Pero si quieren regalarme una, estaría hecha. Ay, güey. Ay, cabrón, patí la pinche silla. Dicen que por qué no prendo la luz luego, que porque esto no sé qué. No mames. A ver, explíquenme eso. No se ha ido la puerta, no se ha ido nada, se cerró la puerta, se abrió la persiana. A ver, explíquenlo. Desde que volví a traer el espejo al baño, la verdad es diferente el miedo. Cuando estaban juntos era un poquito más relajado. No sé, pasaba algo. Pero estando aquí en el baño, como que le gustó más el frío. Porque este baño es muy frío, porque tiene mucho azulejo. No, ya, miren, voy a apagar, voy a cerrar porque sí, la verdad, está un poquito feo esto. Que yo venía por el cargador y no, ya mejor yo ya me voy. No, bueno, pues, buenas noches amigos, pero vean, para que no digan que hay gente adentro, de que se ve muy falso, no sé, no, si no quieren creer, no crean, la verdad. Pero desde que empecé a poner ay, se acabó la pila. Bueno, los dejo amigos porque ya se me va a terminar la batería. Buenas noches.
According to him, things in the studio haven't felt right ever since he moved an old mirror into the bathroom. Not long after bringing it in, subtle changes began to happen, the kind that are easy to dismiss at first, but harder to ignore when they keep repeating. Objects weren't where he left them. Sounds started echoing through the space at odd times, and there was this constant feeling like he wasn't alone, even when he knew he should be. Mirrors, for a long time, have been surrounded by theories and beliefs, often described as reflective surfaces that do more than just show an image, sometimes thought to act as doorways, or at the very least, something that can hold or attract energy. Whether that's true or not, it adds a layer to what he's experiencing. But that's not the only detail that stood out. Viewers quickly pointed out something else inside the studio, a doll, and that shifted the conversation. Because instead of the mirror being the sole cause, some began to speculate that it might have only triggered something that was already there, something tied to that object, something that may have already had a presence in the space long before the mirror was even introduced. So now the question becomes, is the mirror a doorway? Is the doll a vessel? Or is there something else entirely connected to that studio that's only now beginning to reveal itself? I'll leave that up to you to decide. This next footage dates back to 2010, when a group of investigators carried out what they described as their first official investigation of the Delmare Fairgrounds, a location known not just for events and crowds, but also for the stories that seem to linger long after everything goes quiet. Over the years, there have been rumors surrounding the fairgrounds, reports of shadowy figures moving in the distance after closing hours, unexplained noises echoing through empty structures, and the unsettling feeling among some staff and visitors that certain areas don't feel entirely empty even when they should be. Some believe the history of the land itself, combined with decades of activity, may have left behind something that hasn't fully faded. During their investigation, the team set up multiple cameras across different sections of the property, hoping to capture anything unusual that might occur when the area was completely still. And one of those cameras picked up something. Watch. On the left side of the screen, a dark mass can be seen forming, then moving toward the right before suddenly disappearing. Moments like this are exactly what fuel the rumors surrounding places like this, because they align with what people have been describing for years. Brief, shadow-like figures that don't stay long enough to fully understand, but appear just enough to leave an impression. Whether it's something tied to the history of the grounds or simply an unexplained visual anomaly is still up for debate. But captures like this continue to keep those stories alive. And even today, this place still carries its mystery. Now in this next clip, a woman shares what life has been like for her and her family living on an old property, an 1800s farmhouse set far away from neighbors, surrounded by open land and silence that at times feels a little too heavy. From the beginning, things didn't feel right. Doors would slam without warning. Footsteps could be heard moving through the house when no one else was around. And almost every single morning, she would wake up to find things knocked over, objects scattered across the floor, like something had been moving through the house overnight. At one point, their CCTV even picked up the sound of footsteps, but no one was there. Another time, their doorbell rang, but when they checked, there was no one in sight. Then it got worse. Even the dogs started reacting. Watch. When your dog wakes you up in the middle of the night, staring into empty corners, slowly backing away like something is standing right there, it's hard to ignore. And in a place this isolated, hearing what sounds like voices in the distance, voices you can't trace to anyone nearby, is enough to make anyone uneasy. On another night, it wasn't voices or the dogs reacting, it was something else. Watch. At the time, she tried to brush it off, telling herself it could just be the house settling, old wood, shifting, something explainable. Especially since the dogs didn't react, she convinced herself it wasn't worth worrying about. But the next day, while her husband was out walking the dogs, this happened. Watch.
See, and you think I'm crazy. The first time I'm here by myself, there's a picture on the floor, and it just...
A door slams shut, hard, not slowly, but with force, like something wanted it closed. And that's where the pattern becomes harder to ignore, because it doesn't feel random anymore. It feels timed, like whatever is there chooses its moments, sometimes subtle, sometimes impossible to overlook. But the most telling moment might be this. The camera in the kitchen captures something that could explain why she keeps waking up to find things on the floor. Watch.
Okay, every single morning, these are on the floor. Every single morning. So I'm gonna hook up my computer and see if I catch anything tonight. Maybe it's just rodents, but we're gonna find out.
A book moves on its own, not nudged by anything in frame, but shifting just enough before dropping, as if something interacted with it directly. Some would say this points to a presence that has become comfortable in the space, something that isn't just passing through, but staying, moving, and possibly reacting to the people living there. Others might still look for logical explanations, old structures, shifting foundations, environmental factors, but moments like these make that harder to fully rely on. And as long as these events continue without a clear answer, what's happening inside that farmhouse remains unexplained. In the following video, it highlights something that's far more unsettling than a single strange incident. The kind of experience that repeats itself so often, so consistently that it slowly wears you down, because no matter how many times it happens, you still can't find a clear cause for it. Imagine waking up every single morning to the same thing, the same sound, same activity, and no explanation, because that's exactly what this man has been dealing with. Watch. A loud, aggressive banging sound, the kind of sound that immediately puts you on edge, like someone is hitting the door with intent, demanding attention, refusing to be ignored. Now imagine having to get up, walk through your house, heart racing, bracing yourself for who might be on the other side, only to open the door and find nothing. That's what makes this so difficult to shake off, because it's not just the sound itself, it's the repetition, the consistency, the way it follows a pattern without ever revealing its source. He still hasn't figured out what's behind it. But what would you think if this was happening in your house? There have been countless cases where people later discover that they weren't alone in their own homes. Stories where, after weeks or even months, it turns out someone else had been living in the same space, hiding in areas no one thought to check. And that alone is terrifying, because when it's human, it means someone has been watching, moving quietly, existing just out of sight. But when it's not, that's a different kind of fear entirely, because at least with a person, there's an explanation, there's a motive, there's something you can eventually understand. But when there isn't, it leaves something far worse behind. In this case, a man begins to feel like something isn't right in his home. Subtle signs, small inconsistencies, the kind you can almost ignore until they start to build into something you can't shake off. So one morning, instead of relying on what he might miss with his own eyes, he decides to record everything, moving through his house with his phone, documenting as he goes. Watch. Behind the curtain, something appears. A figure, brief, but clear enough to stand out, and then, almost as if reacting to being seen, it's gone. But what makes this even more unsettling is what happens next. Around the same area, you can see flies moving around. Sudden appearances of insects, especially flies, are often associated with decay, disturbance, or the presence of something negative. In real-world situations, flies are drawn to decay, to something breaking down, something no longer living. And that's where some of the darker interpretations begin. Because if a figure appears in a space, disappears, and is immediately followed by flies gathering in that exact spot, some believe it could suggest something far more disturbing than a simple presence. Not just something passing through, but something tied to death. There are viewers who believe moments like this hint at the possibility that whatever was seen isn't just an entity, but something connected to a past event, something that may have happened in that very area and was never fully uncovered. Of course, skeptics argue it's all staged, but you be the judge. The following video was recorded by paranormal investigator Frank, the creator behind Franco TV, a channel widely known for his solo overnight explorations of abandoned locations most people refuse to enter, places with violent histories, forgotten tragedies, and reports so disturbing that even experienced investigators often avoid returning alone. Yet Frank has built his reputation on confronting these places directly, documenting whatever might still be lingering in the darkness. This time, he returns to a monastery he had investigated once before, a place long surrounded by unsettling rumors, where locals claim former monks practiced rituals that went far beyond prayer, and where some believe certain areas were permanently sealed off after unexplained incidents involving members of the clergy who reportedly began hearing voices, seeing figures, and behaving in ways no one could explain. And ever since its abandonment, people who pass near the structure at night have reported the overwhelming feeling of being watched, as if something inside never truly left. Just seconds after arriving, Frank immediately captures something deeply unsettling. Watch.
This is where I was seeing things coming out of here. I just got a sound. That's where my car is. Whoa. I just heard something over here. I feel so vulnerable right now. Oh God, it is so cold. Next time I come out here again, I'm gonna have to layer up.
In the darkness, what appears to be a pair of eyes reflects, like something was watching him. And even when he went into the monastery to escape whoever or whatever was watching him, something else happened.
What the hell is that? Oh my God. It's like right there. It's coming from inside here. For sure, it's definitely coming in here. Hola? I have to ask. What if there's somebody in here? The chair's still there in the middle.
Heavy bangs like footsteps carrying weight, the kind of sound that suggests something solid, something physical, moving somewhere, just out of sight. And as Frank searches the area, expecting to find a person, an animal, or at least some logical explanation, he finds nothing. Some believe this could be residual energy, the kind said to replay past movements in places where intense emotional or spiritual events occurred repeatedly over time, while others believe this is something far more aware, something intelligent, something that recognized his presence the moment he arrived and chose not to remain hidden. Because in locations like this, investigators often say the most terrifying moments aren't when you see something clearly. It's when you hear something that should not be there and realize it knows exactly where you are. This next video was recorded during a paranormal investigation in a small town in Jalisco, Mexico, at an old hacienda currently undergoing renovation, a property that, according to locals, carries a history far darker than its crumbling walls suggest, with rumors stretching back generations about buried money hidden somewhere on the land, valuables supposedly concealed during times of conflict, and even more disturbing claims that human remains were discovered on the property years ago, though no one seems to agree on how they got there or who they belonged to. One local resident who grew up near the hacienda described experiences that still unsettle him to this day, especially involving the main staircase, where he would hear slow, deliberate footsteps climbing upward, step by step, as if someone was making their way to the second floor, only for the sound to suddenly stop midway, leaving nothing there when he went to check. No person, no animal, just silence, and a heavy feeling that he was no longer alone. When the investigators arrived, they carefully explored the property, documenting each room, each hallway, each corner where something might be hiding. But for hours, nothing significant happened, and despite the oppressive atmosphere and the constant sense of being watched, there was no clear evidence of movement or presence. And eventually, believing the night would end without incident, they began preparing to leave. But just as they were about to go, something changed. Watch.
Una que está aquí y que es la que se ha manifestado. Esta oración fue para ti y para todas las demás entidades que se encuentran aquí. Yo creo que es momento de retirarnos porque... ¡Ay, no mames, no mames, no mames! ¡Ay! ¡Ay, güey! ¡No mames! Yo vi algo, vamos, ven. Ven, ven, ven. Algo se asomó aquí. Ven, por favor, algo. Córrele, córrele, córrele. ¡Ay! ¡Ay! No mames, ¿qué hay aquí? Córrele, Meli, ven. Ay, no mames. Es que yo aquí vi que se asomó algo, te lo juro. Ay, ¿quién anda aquí? ¿Quién anda aquí? Yo ya no sé. De verdad. No, no hay nada. Ay. No, vámonos ya. Vámonos con cuidado. Es momento de irnos. Es momento de irnos con cuidado. Ay, no. Yo ya quiero salir de aquí, vámonos. Ya no podemos quedarnos más, de verdad, es momento de irnos. Qué terrible lugar, un lugar lleno de energía, una energía muy fuerte la que está aquí encerrada y lamentablemente no podemos hacer nada. Ya hicimos una oración, vamos saliendo. Ya hicimos una oración, pero no hay nada más por hacer, porque yo vengo sin un experto.
From behind the truck, something briefly peeks out, a shape that appears and disappears too quickly to fully identify, followed by something even more disturbing, a faint voice, weak, strained, and emotional, sounding almost like someone crying out for help. Some believe this could be the spirit of someone connected to the remains found on the property, possibly someone who died there and was never properly laid to rest, their presence lingering, unable to move on, trapped between worlds and trying to be heard, while others believe the rumors of buried money may be connected, that if something valuable was hidden there long ago, it may have been guarded, and whoever was responsible may never have truly left. There are also those who believe something darker may exist in places like this. Not a trapped soul, but something that imitates distress, something that calls out in human voices to lure the living closer, feeding on curiosity and fear. But until more evidence surfaces, what was hiding behind that truck, and who or what cried out into the darkness, remains a mystery. Now, in this next clip, a man named Samuel, who works at ESTE Villahermosa Hospital, captured a disturbing incident after months of staff, quietly complaining that strange and unexplainable things had been happening throughout the building. Hospitals, especially those that operate overnight, are often at the center of paranormal claims, not necessarily because of the building itself, but because of what they represent. According to Samuel, co-workers had reported hearing footsteps in empty corridors, equipment shifting when no one was present, and doors opening slightly on their own during the early hours of the morning, especially between 3 and 4 a.m., a time many refer to as the dead hour, when activity is believed to be at its peak. One night around 3:30 a.m., while working his shift, Samuel heard noises coming from the sample collection area. At first, He assumed it might be another staff member finishing late work, but when the sounds continued, he decided to investigate and record. Watch.
Compañeros, hago este video porque estaba escuchando ruidos aquí atrás. Son las 3:25 de la mañana. No veo nada. Miren. Miren. Dejen de ver eso. Se acaba de caer un bote. Se está moviendo esto. No veo nada. No hay nadie por acá. No hay nadie por acá. A la onda. Miren. Se movió esto. Ahorita que venía caminando por acá. Y no veo a nadie. Miren. 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 Miren cómo se mueve eso. Para que vean que no hay nadie aquí.
Objects can be seen moving and falling off on their own. Some viewers believe the movement resembles the behavior of a child. The way the trolley shifts, the way objects are disturbed, it doesn't seem violent, but curious, almost like something small, interacting with its surroundings without understanding the consequences. But what happened next made the situation even harder to dismiss. Samuel later reviewed the hospital's security camera footage, hoping to find a logical explanation. Instead, he captured something else. Watch. If you look closely, something appears to move toward one of the wards. Moments later, a door opens, like something entered the room. It appears small, so many believe the child's speculation might just be right. But until more footage emerges, and until someone finds a clear explanation, whatever Samuel captured that night remains unexplained. In the following videos, a group of explorers set out to investigate an abandoned house that had been sitting empty for years, its broken windows and rotting walls silently holding whatever history had been left behind. They moved cautiously from room to room, documenting everything, opening doors, checking closets, and shining their flashlights into corners where the darkness seemed unusually thick. But there was one particular room they couldn't access because the door was locked. They tried the handle repeatedly, pushing, pulling, even listening closely to hear if something was moving on the other side, but it wouldn't budge. Eventually, with no way in, they gave up and left cameras behind to monitor the house while they were gone, hoping to capture evidence of whatever might be inside. This is what the camera caught. An object inside the room suddenly falls over. What makes this moment disturbing is how it was positioned. It wasn't hanging off an edge or placed somewhere unstable. It appeared balanced and undisturbed for hours, and yet it fell without any visible force acting on it. It was as if something invisible had decided to move it. More than a year passed before another investigator named Meguro, along with his partner Kawasaki, decided to return to the same abandoned house. By then, the location had developed a reputation among explorers, many refusing to enter it at all. But Meguro wanted answers. They set up night vision cameras throughout the building and made the risky decision to stay overnight inside. But the night quickly turned into something neither of them expected. Watch.
川崎くん。川崎くん。川崎くん。目黒さん、目黒さん。川崎君。
Meguro tries again and again, pushing harder each time, and soon starts getting an overwhelming sensation, one he later describes as being watched from the other side. And then there's the chair, a single chair that wasn't there earlier, but at the time, what was important was opening the door. After several tense moments, the door finally opened, and Meguro later describes the moment as something he will never forget. Watch.
川崎君。川崎君。
People familiar with the building later came forward with disturbing claims. According to them, that particular room is believed to house an entity, one that doesn't simply haunt the space, but watches, waits, and searches for something far more disturbing. A vessel. Some believe entities tied to locations grow weaker over time unless they attach themselves to something living, something capable of carrying them beyond the place they're trapped. Meguro and Kawasaki later warned others to never enter that room again, and after seeing what happened that night, it's not hard to understand why. This next video shows Amanda Sanders, a woman who says the activity inside her home has been escalating in ways she can no longer ignore. At first, the strange things only happened occasionally, subtle enough that she could convince herself there was a logical explanation. But recently, everything changed, and the disturbances are no longer confined to the middle of the night. They're happening in broad daylight, while she's fully awake, fully aware, and unable to dismiss them. What makes this even more unsettling is her dogs. According to Amanda, her dogs have been behaving in ways she's never seen before. They refuse to enter certain rooms. They hide under the bed for hours. Sometimes, they stare into empty spaces and quietly whimper, as if reacting to something invisible standing right in front of them. Sensing something wasn't right, Amanda began recording more often, hoping to capture proof. And during one of those recordings, this happened. Watch.
Alright guys, it's me and Pops right now. It's starting to happen again. I wanted to catch it. My old man's at work. Nothing, nobody is in here. Like, what? Alright guys, I'm gonna show you. Let me see if I can get my damn. And there's no way out of my house. This is the only door. This door and my back door, which is back there. Fuck, I don't know how to get a flat, or, hold on. Guys, I'm just have to come in here and turn the light on. Okay. So I just want to find the damn light. Hold on, guys. proof no one is in here. Like, what the is going on? No one's in here, right? Shower. Open the shower and show you. Bathroom. No one's. Oh, shit. The door just slammed shut again. What was it, Tootsie? What is it, Toot Toot? Something slammed the door on you, buddy? Come here. Where you going? Okay. Anyway, this is a closet. I can't even open the door on that side. I'll get it open. Hold on. This is my closet. Please excuse me. Vern, are you fucking with that door? Oh my god. What the dude?
I don't know.
Nothing. Like, oh, let me go back here to this closet and show you. Ain't nobody in here. That's a bunch of bags. Like, there's nothing in here. Let me open this. What the fuck? No one here, guys. Just me and Pops. What the f? And the dogs, obviously. Hey, Daisy. What's going on, crazy? Woo!
In the middle of the video, a door suddenly slams shut with force. Moments like this have left her feeling exposed in her own home, unsure whether she's being watched, followed, or something worse. In paranormal cases, escalation during daylight hours is often considered more serious because it suggests whatever is present no longer needs darkness to operate. And then there's the dogs. Many believe animals don't hide unless they feel threatened. Their instinct is survival. If they're hiding under the bed, refusing to move, it could mean they're trying to escape something they can sense but can't fight. Amanda says she's now considering blessing the home, hoping it might calm whatever is inside or remove it completely. But opinions are divided. Some believe blessing a home can help cleanse negative energy and restore peace, especially if the presence is weak or recently attached. Others warn that attempts to cleanse a space without fully understanding what's there can sometimes provoke more activity, especially if whatever is present resists being removed. There's also the unsettling possibility that the presence isn't tied to the house at all, but to Amanda herself. Until she takes the next step and shares what happens after the blessing, this remains unsolved. This next video shows a disturbing series of unexplained events experienced by a man inside his own home. Events that didn't begin suddenly, but built up slowly over time until they became impossible to ignore. It started with small things, objects not being where he left them, faint knocking sounds coming from empty rooms, and moments where his dog would suddenly stop, stare at nothing, and quietly back away like it sensed something standing there. At first, he tried to ignore it, convincing himself it was just the house settling, or his imagination playing tricks on him. But that changed the day he caught this on camera. Watch.
This is camera recording. Huh. Oh, Jesus. Dude.
The mirror that had been placed securely against the wall suddenly falls on its own, but things didn't stop there. Another time, he captured something even more direct. The door suddenly closes with force. If it wasn't wind and no one else was inside, then the question becomes unavoidable. What closed it? By this point, he was no longer brushing it off. He knew something wasn't right. Then one afternoon, shortly after arriving home, he heard loud banging noises coming from inside. Instead of ignoring it, he immediately set up his camera. Watch this.
Banging noises in here. So that's why I'm setting up the camera right now to find out, what the fuck it is. Max, shut up. Everybody here. That was up against the wall.
A shadow appears on the wall, and though he couldn't capture it on camera, the reaction of the dog is enough to know something or someone was definitely there. Still, nothing prepared him for what came next. One night while he was asleep, his phone somehow took selfies, not one, but multiple. Watch him out.
Didn't take the picture because it was taken from the end of my bed. One of them, at least. The other one was like next to me. But also, in those pictures, the first one, sorry. In the first one, there's like another face next to my wife's face. And I was thinking maybe it was like a reflection of my face, but how in the is there going to be a reflection of my face on the pillow? Then on the other one, the other picture, I think my eyes are open. I don't know. I zoomed in. It doesn't look like my eyes are open, but it looks like something's on my eyes. And my hand looked very long.
Some believe this could be a camera glitch, a trick of lighting or motion distortion, but others believe something far more disturbing. There's a theory in paranormal cases that entities can manipulate electronics, especially cameras and phones, to capture their presence. Some believe they can even interact with people while they sleep, appearing close enough to be captured without being seen. And if that's true, it would mean whatever is inside his home isn't just moving objects, it's getting closer. Until more footage is captured, and until he finds out what's truly behind these events, one terrifying question remains. Is this something attached to the house, or something attached to him? You decide. The following video was recorded by a lady and her friend Josh, who decided to experiment with a Ouija board and film the entire session. At first, nothing unusual happens as their fingers rest lightly on the planchette, asking questions into the quiet room, waiting for any kind of response. For nearly 20 minutes, everything seems still until this happens. Watch.
Blow out a candle if you're here. Right then.
Lol.
Maybe he's not here. Oh, we're assuming it's gender. Are you male or female?
Yeah. Are you male or female? Are you both?
Are you a male? What was that?
It's probably just the house creaking.
No. Oh my god. No.
No,
No.
right. Close
No.
that door. Close
Oh my
that
god.
door.
Oh my god.
Close that door.
Nah. I'm gone. No, I'm...
Without warning, a door behind them slowly opens on its own. She quickly gets up, clearly shaken, and walks over to close it. But another door suddenly slams shut with force, louder, sharper, and impossible to ignore. Ouija boards have long been associated with attempts to contact spirits. Many believe they don't just allow communication, they act as invitations. Invitations for something unseen to step closer, to listen, and sometimes to follow. What makes situations like this especially concerning is one rule that experienced users always warn about. Never remove your fingers from the planchette without properly ending the session by saying goodbye. According to paranormal belief, saying goodbye isn't symbolic. It's a way of closing whatever was opened. Without it, the connection is believed to remain active, leaving whatever answered free to linger. And in this video, viewers noticed something disturbing. When the door first opened, both friends instinctively pulled their hands away from the board. There was no clear goodbye, no closure, just fear and distance. She later explained that after the recording ended, they did say goodbye and threw the board away, hoping that would end everything. But many believe once something responds, simply throwing the board away doesn't undo the invitation, because sometimes the board isn't what brings it in. It's the moment you asked it to come. In this next clip, two friends decide to explore the basement of Danvers State Hospital. They enter through the rear loading garage and slowly make their way down the long, dimly lit corridor toward the front of the building before turning back. The place is quiet, too quiet, the kind of silence that feels heavy rather than empty. But while they were walking, something else may have been down there with them, and although their eyes didn't catch it in the moment, the camera did. Watch. If you look closely, you can see what appears to be a figure walking past. Now, some viewers believe it could be a homeless person who simply didn't want to be noticed. But then there's the location. Danvers State Hospital has a long and unsettling history. Originally opened in the late 1800s as a psychiatric facility, it's been surrounded by rumors for decades, stories of harsh treatments, overcrowding, and patients who never left. Explorers have claimed to hear disembodied footsteps in empty corridors, whispers in the basement, and shadow figures moving between doorways long after the hospital shut down. So was this a person moving quietly in the dark? Or could it be something tied to the building's past, still walking the halls it once knew? I'll let you decide. Now in this next video, a woman who enjoys collecting haunted dolls captures something unbelievable. Watch this. At first glance, you must have assumed the obvious: faulty wiring, hidden batteries, or some kind of built-in mechanism. But after looking closely and seeing that there are no batteries inside, you start to wonder. Collectors who specialize in haunted objects often believe certain items can act as vessels. Dolls, in particular, are thought to be ideal because of their human-like form. They have faces, eyes and bodies, something that, according to paranormal belief, makes it easier for a spirit to attach, observe, and even express itself. Some collectors say they have experienced dolls changing position, making sounds, or even appearing in different rooms without explanation. But this is exactly why so many people can't stand them. There's something deeply unsettling about an object that looks human but isn't alive. Something that can sit silently for years and then suddenly move when no one touches it. It creates the feeling that it isn't just an object anymore, but something aware, something present. And moments like this only deepen that fear. Because if there are no batteries, then what exactly made it move? Until more updates are shared, this remains unsolved. The following video comes from a man who, for weeks, kept waking up to find his kitchen in complete disarray, cabinets left slightly open, utensils on the floor, and containers knocked over. At first, he blamed rats. It was the only explanation that made sense, especially living in an area where rodents weren't uncommon. But something about it didn't sit right with him. Some of the objects being moved were heavy, solid containers, and things that would require real force to push off the counter. Still, he tried everything: traps, repellents, sealing entry points. And yet, every morning, the mess kept coming back. Eventually, he decided to install a camera in his kitchen, hoping to finally catch whatever was responsible. And what he captured left him shaken. Watch this. The movement doesn't look like the items were unstable, then fell. It looks more like something unseen is standing there, choosing what to move next. Some believe this could be a poltergeist, a type of entity known not for appearing, but for interacting physically with the environment. Unlike apparitions that are only seen briefly, poltergeists are often associated with repeated disturbances, objects being pushed, thrown, or displaced without warning. And the kitchen, being a central and active part of any home, often becomes a focal point. What makes this more unsettling is the pattern. This wasn't a one-time incident. It happened repeatedly, night after night, almost like whatever was there had grown comfortable, confident enough to act openly. He fears this is only the beginning, so we can only hope he gets all the help he needs. Unlike the man in the previous clip, who is still searching for answers, this man says he already knows what he's dealing with. For months now, he's been living with what he believes is the spirit of a child. It started with light footsteps running across the hallway when no one else was home, toys he didn't own appearing in different places, and soft giggling late at night, the kind that stops the moment he tries to follow it. Sometimes, he even hears laughter echoing from empty rooms, playful but wrong. He's done everything he could think of, He's cleansed the house, he's performed last rites to make whatever is there move on peacefully, but nothing has worked. And now, the activity has started to escalate. Watch this. First, the kitchen cabinet. Then you can hear something giggle. And then comes the moment that truly terrifies him. For a split second, something that looks like a small hand appears. And there's no way anyone could fit into that cabinet. Many believe that childlike spirits can be deceptive, and they don't always present themselves as harmless. The laughter, the runny, the playful noises, it creates the illusion of something harmless, until it isn't. So what do you think? Is he really being haunted by something childlike? Or is there some logical explanation we're missing? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. In this next clip, a guy and his friend are playing card games, enjoying what was supposed to be a normal, quiet night, when suddenly, the bathroom door starts doing this.
Bueno, te dejo primero. Listo, te regalaste. Truco. Quiero. No, dale, boludo. No le des bola, no le des bola, no le des bola porque es peor. No le des bola, ¿qué hora es? ¿Qué hora es? Son las 3 de la mañana. Las 3 de la mañana. Siempre arranca los redes, no le des bola. Hacé cuenta no pasa nada porque si no es peor, boludo. No, dale, Leon, a mí me da miedo. No le des bola. Dale, dale, juega, boludo, dale. No es nada, son ruidos nomás. No, ni en pedo eso por la aguja de mierda esa me hiciste jugar otra vez. Si salió re mal, ni nos contactamos, dale, jugá. Ahí te está, para, dale, boludo, no, apaga la luz. No apague nada. Apaga la luz. No apague nada. Apágala. No, ya está. Para que le voy a preguntar. No apagué. No seas cagón, para. ¿Por qué no quisiste hablar con nosotros ayer? No pregunté nada. Para que, a ver, vamos a probar, para. Manifestate si estás acá. Ya está, boludo. Ahí está. Entra que yo le pregunto. Dale, entra, no seas cagón. Yo no voy a entrar, dale, que es la primera vez que me pasa estando con alguien, dale. Encima tengo todo grabado, para. ¿Por qué me estás molestando a mí? No grabé, boludo, ya estábamos en la mierda. Para, no te vayas. Para. No, dale, boludo, no, dale. En serio te digo. Si te ayudo, ¿me dejas en paz? Para. Entra. No, abrí la puerta. No entro ni pedo. No, yo me quiero. Para. ¿Cómo te saco de ahí? ¿Moriste hace mucho? Ya está, boludo. Para, entra. ¿Podemos entrar a verte? Entra, dale, no, para. Dale, no seas cagón, entra. No, a mí me da recagazo. Dale, por favor, entra. No entra que solo, no te grabo de acá, boludo. Dale. En serio. Entra, boludo, dale. Prende la luz. No. Pará, déjame a mí. Vení, déjame a mí. Pará. No hay nada, boludo. Vamos a salir.
The handle begins shaking aggressively, like someone on the other side is desperately trying to get out. What makes this even more disturbing is the fact that the door isn't locked. With that much force on the handle, the door should open easily, but it didn't. More like whatever or whoever was there was trying to get their attention. According to the owner of the apartment, this wasn't the first time strange things had happened in that bathroom. He's heard violent banging on the same door before, and sometimes, late at night, he hears whispers coming from inside. Not random noises, but what sounds like actual conversations. Multiple voices speaking too quietly to understand, but clear enough to know something is there. But viewers pointed out one critical mistake. He opened the door. There's a long-standing warning repeated in paranormal circles. If something knocks, shakes, or tries to lure you into opening a door when you know no one should be there, you don't open it. Because sometimes the act of opening the door is seen as an invitation. And then a comment surfaced that made the entire situation even more unsettling. One viewer claimed to know the guy in the video through TikTok. According to them, the activity didn't stop. It got worse, much worse that his behavior began to change. He became distant, erratic, and paranoid, like he was constantly being watched. And then one day, he disappeared. No warning and no explanation. Some people believe whatever was behind that door was a demon that attached itself to him and eventually broke him, which makes people wonder, what if he didn't open the door that night? Now, in this next clip, a woman shares the disturbing activity that's been happening inside her home, a house she lives in with her husband and her father-in-law. At first, the incidents were easy to ignore, but recently, the activity has become impossible to dismiss and seems to center around one specific place, her father-in-law's bedroom. Watch this.
Alright guys, some crazy stuff's been happening in my house. I'm trying to catch it on camera. The door shut like 5 minutes ago. I opened it back up. I'm gonna see if it'll do it again. Here we go. Oh shit. Oh my god, that was so crazy. I really didn't think it was gonna happen like that on cue. Jesus. Oh god. Why is my camera glitching out? Oh, that tends to happen when you get close to stuff, I guess. Okay, I just want to show you guys that no one's in here. No one's here but us. This is a closet. Let me try to turn the light on so you guys can see. Like, there's nothing in here, nobody in here. Like, what the fuck? Nobody under a bed. You can't see nothing. Ah! Oh my god. Holy shit. Oh my god. What the? And guys, I know my father-in-law did not just shut that fucking door. He's like 60 some years old, guys. Like, this stuff. And this is his bedroom, and he's scared to death. Like, he's been sleeping on the couch. And my brother's been sleeping in his bed, but this is crazy. What the? I don't know.
What makes this even more emotional is something viewers found in the room. Her father-in-law lost his wife years ago, and he still keeps a picture of both of them inside the bedroom. Some viewers believe this may not be something hostile at all. They believe it could be her, and that the door slamming could be her way of making herself known, not to harm, but to remind him that he isn't alone. Many believe that fear can create distance between the living and spirits who mean no harm, and instead of reacting with panic, some suggest she helps her father-in-law acknowledge the presence calmly, even speak to her, as a way of bringing peace to both sides. But others see something far more concerning. They warn that not every entity that appears in a familiar space is who it seems to be. Some entities are believed to mimic loved ones, using emotional attachment as a way to gain trust and remain close. The sudden, forceful movement of the door doesn't feel gentle or comforting. It feels aggressive, like something trying to assert control over the space. So if it isn't his late wife, then something else may have chosen that room for a reason. But as always, I'll leave you to be the judge. In this next video, a woman visiting a hospital captures something she didn't notice at the time. But once viewers saw it, it completely changed how the footage was understood. Watch this. If you focus on the right side of your screen, near one of the wards, something briefly peeks out. It's quick, almost cautious, like whatever it is doesn't want to be fully seen. And then, seconds later, it appears again, this time on the left side. What makes this more disturbing is what happens next. She immediately goes back to check those rooms herself, expecting to find maybe a nurse, a patient, or at least someone who had been standing there moments earlier. But when she looks inside, the rooms are empty. Hospitals are places where life and death exist side by side. Every hallway has seen moments of relief and moments of loss. Over the years, countless patients have spent their final hours inside rooms just like those. And many people believe that when someone passes suddenly or with unfinished emotions, their presence can linger, tied to the very place where they took their last breath. So what do you think she saw? A nurse stepping out of view at just the right moment? Or something that never really left those halls in the first place? The following video was recorded over 11 years ago by a group of teenagers who decided to visit a nearby graveyard late at night, a place that had already built a reputation among locals because of a rumor that something unusual guarded the area, something that wasn't aggressive in the traditional sense, but was said to appear to those who came looking for it. At first, like most rumors, they didn't fully believe it. It sounded like the kind of story people tell to scare others away from wandering into places they shouldn't be after dark. But curiosity got the better of them, and one night, armed with nothing but their phones and flashlights, they went to see for themselves. Watch this. At first, what they saw didn't fully register. Something was there, and it looked like a figure wrapped in white cloth. But before they could even process it, it was gone. And that's what makes the moment so confusing, because it doesn't move away, it doesn't run. It simply is there 1 second, and not there the next. But then, they see it again, and this time, it was clearer and more defined. Watch.
Subhanallah. Allah Akbar, 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 Allah Akbar,
They ran, but every time they stopped, even briefly, trying to catch their breath or look back, they saw it again. After they posted the video, it quickly caught attention, especially from viewers in Indonesia and Malaysia, where many people immediately recognized what they believed the figure to be. They called it a Pocong. The Pocong is one of the most well-known figures in Indonesian and Malaysian folklore, often referred to as the shroud ghost, because it is said to take the form of a deceased person still wrapped in their white burial cloth, known as a kain kafan. According to local belief, when a person is buried, the cloth is tied at the head, neck, and feet, and if those ties are not released within a certain period, traditionally around 40 days, the soul becomes trapped, unable to move on, and instead of walking, it is said to hop, returning to the world of the living, not necessarily to harm, but to seek release or closure. Now the question isn't just why it appeared, but why it followed. Was it asking for help, or was it making sure they didn't forget what they had seen? This one remains a mystery. This next clip was recorded by a security camera at a time when the house was completely empty, with the owners away for the day and no one expected to be inside, which is exactly why what was captured stands out so much, because there was no movement scheduled, no pets, no visitors, nothing that should have triggered the system. The camera itself was positioned in a part of the house that covered the kitchen area, including a clear view of the refrigerator, a spot that normally wouldn't draw much attention, but on this particular day, it became the focus of something no one could explain. Watch closely. At first, something begins to change in the reflection on the refrigerator's surface, and this is the moment that caught everyone's attention. Because to some viewers, it doesn't just look like a reflection, it looks like a portal forming within the reflection itself. And then, shortly after that distortion appears, something walks through the frame. Some believe this could be an example of what's often described as a dimensional overlap, where reflective surfaces, especially mirrors or polished materials, act as temporary gateways or windows, allowing something from another space to briefly intersect with ours. So did that camera capture a one-time anomaly, or a doorway that opens more often than anyone realizes? Now in this next clip, the story begins in a way that feels almost ordinary, with a young man at home trying to relax while choosing a horror movie, completely unaware that he was about to experience something far more unsettling than anything on his screen. The house was quiet, nothing out of place, no indication that anything unusual was about to happen. And then, his doorbell goes off. Wondering if someone was actually at the door or if it was some kind of malfunction, he stands up to check. Watch. At first glance, the hallway appears empty. No one is standing there, no movement, and nothing that explains why the doorbell went off. But when you look closer, there's something else, a distorted shadow, faint but clearly present in the background. And what makes this even more unsettling is that it didn't stop. This continued for days, the doorbell ringing, the strange presence lingering, and the feeling that something was just outside, or maybe not outside at all. Eventually, he decides to confront it directly, opening the door to check for himself, expecting to finally find a logical explanation. But there's no one there, and instead of things ending there, that's when everything gets worse. One day, after returning home from work, he walks into his house and finds it like this. Watch. Seeing this made people think the initial doorbell incident may have been a form of invitation or acknowledgement, something testing whether it had his attention before escalating further. And yes, it escalated, because even when he is sitting calmly in his living room, trying to work or relax, he hears distinct noises coming from the kitchen, sounds that resemble movement, objects being handled, and the presence of someone physically there. But every time he goes to check, no one is there. Watch. Some theories suggest that whatever is present has moved beyond subtle signs and is now fully interacting with the physical environment, no longer hiding, but choosing when to reveal its presence. Others believe that repeated attention, even unintentional, can allow something like this to grow stronger, more confident, more active over time. And if that's true, then the doorbell may not have been random. It may have been the beginning. Until more updates are shared, this one remains unsolved. Now this next clip has caused a lot of controversy online, but beyond the debate, it has also sparked a much deeper conversation. The unsettling idea that there may be things sharing our living spaces with us that we are completely unaware of, moving quietly, existing just outside our perception, only becoming visible under very specific conditions. It's a thought that makes people question how much of what we call empty space is actually empty at all. In this particular case, the footage comes from a woman who describes herself as deeply religious, someone who strongly believes in spiritual protection and divine presence. And for her, what was captured on her Ring camera didn't feel threatening. It felt meaningful. Have a look. According to her, what you're seeing is her guardian angel, a protective presence moving through her home, watching over her and her space, something she believes has always been there, only now briefly revealing itself. But not everyone agrees with that interpretation. Some believe that entities don't always appear in forms that match their true nature, and that something harmful can sometimes present itself in a way that feels comforting or familiar, especially if it wants to remain undetected or welcomed. So what do you think? Is this something protective or something pretending to be? The following video was recorded by a man who works night shift at a school he believes is haunted. Very early in the morning, just before his shift ends, he hears loud screams echoing through the building, not clear enough to understand, but unmistakably human. Throughout the night, he rarely sleeps, not because he isn't tired, but because things keep happening. Doors shifting, sudden bangs from rooms he knows are empty, and sounds of movement when no one else is supposed to be there. His friends dismissed it, saying it was his mind playing tricks on him, caused by the isolation, the long hours, and the quiet. But one night, he finally captured something. Watch this.
Esa puerta también. ¿Vieron?
Bueno, miren, en esta área es donde supuestamente miran una niña o han visto una niña. Tanto maestros como otros trabajadores de aquí del lugar dicen que miran una niña. ¿Escucharon eso? ¿Escucharon? Entonces... Uy, güey. Vámonos. Vámonos. De repente como que se escucha a lo lejos gritos. Y aún es temprano. Miren. ¿Alcanzan a ver esa ventana? Como si algo estuviera ahí, ¿ven? ¿Fue imaginación o alguien tocó la puerta?
It was the usual drill. Doors slamming, sudden bangs, and if you look closely, the waste bin begins to move, like something unseen is pushing it. Schools, especially older ones, carry layers of emotional energy. Generations of students and staff passing through the same spaces year after year. And in rare cases, people believe that energy doesn't always leave. One theory, he was told, has stayed with him ever since. Years ago, someone else might have had the exact same job, walking the same halls, doing the same rounds alone, night after night. And if that person had passed away, maybe their spirit didn't realize the shift was over. For him, that's the only explanation that makes sense so far. But I'll leave you to decide what was really moving in that school that night. Now in this next video, a woman shares one of the most terrifying experiences she has ever had. Something that, even after replaying it multiple times and trying to rationalize it from every possible angle, still doesn't make sense to her. What makes it even more unsettling is that this wasn't a one-time occurrence, but something tied to a very specific condition inside her home. Have a look. The moment the light goes off, the sound begins, loud, raw, and deeply unnatural. People who have watched the clip have very different interpretations. Some say the sounds resemble what they believe to be demonic vocalizations, while others, trying to find a more grounded explanation, have compared it to gorilla-like noises, deep, guttural, and aggressive. But what truly sets this apart is what the woman herself points out. She only hears it when the light goes off. So what's she dealing with? I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. The following clip was recorded by a girl on her 15th birthday. The house was full of relatives, music playing in the background, wrapping paper scattered across the floor as she laughed and unwrapped gift after gift. At one point, she picked up her phone to film a short video for her school friends, wanting to show them one of the dolls she had just received. But before she could even finish the video, something happened. Watch.
Bueno, aquí les presentamos a la muñeca de Bessie que se la regalaron a sus 15 años.
No manches, mira.
As she holds the doll up, its head slowly turns toward her. It rotates deliberately, stopping at an angle that makes it appear as though it's looking directly at her, but there's no visible mechanism inside it. No motor, no battery compartment, no switch. After seeing the video, her parents immediately took the doll away, but the panic wasn't just about the movement, it was about where it came from. The doll may have been purchased by a guest from a thrift store, meaning its history was completely unknown, and that's where the fear deepens. In paranormal lore, objects, especially dolls, are often described as vessels, not because they're inherently evil, but because their human-like features make them symbolic anchors. If something were attached to that doll, removing it from sight wouldn't necessarily remove the attachment itself. Some believe that once an object has been inside a home, whatever is connected to it can linger even after it's discarded. There are countless stories online of people throwing dolls away, only to find them returned to their porch, back in storage boxes, or replaced by unexplained activity inside the house. Others claim that after attempting to burn or destroy items like this, the disturbances escalated, lights flickering, doors opening at night, shadows appearing more frequently. If you were in that situation, if you saw that head turn on its own, what would you have done? Would you throw it away and hope that ends it? Or would you try to cleanse the house? I'd love to hear your thoughts. This next video was captured on a man's Ring camera late at night, and ever since reviewing the footage, he says he hasn't been able to look at his front yard the same way again. Watch.
Caught this on my Ring camera last night.
The movement started from here, and what immediately stands out is the way it moves. It doesn't scatter or disperse like dust caught in infrared light. It holds its shape. The outline remains strangely consistent, almost compact, as it floats forward. Many viewers initially suggested it could be dust, pollen, or an insect passing close to the lens. But typical dust particles caught in night vision tend to expand, blur, or fragment as they move. This form doesn't behave that way. It travels in a controlled path, maintaining structure before slowly fading from view. But that's not the only unsettling detail. In the audio, a faint voice can be heard, like a little girl saying, "We're here." The footage was recorded around 3 a.m., and at this time, no kid should be outside playing. Investigators sometimes warn that entities may mimic children's voices to seem harmless, drawing attention or curiosity rather than fear. But the phrase itself is unsettling. We're here, not I'm here, plural. If it was a trick of the audio system, it's an incredibly eerie coincidence. If it was a child's voice from somewhere off camera, why does it sound so close to the microphone? And if it wasn't either of those things, then what exactly was floating across his yard that night? And if that voice truly said what it sounds like it said, then the question isn't just what was there, but how many. Now in this next clip, a man known online for his extensive doll collection captures something unsettling inside his daughter's bedroom, and it happens while she's asleep. He says it was a normal afternoon, his little girl was taking her nap, the house was quiet, and he was in the living room when he suddenly began hearing loud tapping sounds coming from her room. Listen closely.
What is that? See, it ain't my daughter because she's napping right there on the bed. It sounds like her closet door though. Try not to wake her up. See, I don't know. No, it's not doing it. See, she's snapping right.
There was no one else in her room, and there was no visible movement near her crib or bed. And And then, after a short while, something else happens.
Whatever it was not even waking her up. Nah. Come on, man, she's in here sleeping. I don't know how that didn't even wake her up. Come on, man. You need to get out of her room. Dude, I'm telling you, that thing was closed, right? Come on, man. Now why is she sleeping? Man, I am good on that. You need to get out of her room. Play somewhere else. What the man? You need to stay out of her room.
People familiar with this family already know that the man collects dolls, dozens of them, many antique, some with glass eyes, some displayed throughout the house. Over time, viewers have also claimed to spot strange shadows in the background of previous videos, objects slightly repositioned between cuts, and unexplained noises when no one else was home. Yet despite all of this, he continues to insist that whatever is in the house feels friendly. But that belief is what unsettles many viewers the most, because entities that begin subtly, tapping, knocking, light movement, don't always stay subtle. Some investigators warn that labeling something friendly too quickly can lower natural caution, especially when children are involved. So what exactly is sharing that house with them? I'd love to hear what you think about this one. The following video is about a man who claims the activity in his home became so disturbing that he eventually had to leave and stay at his girlfriend's house just to get a break from it. It started with small disruptions, unexplained bangs in the middle of the night, doors clicking shut when no one was near them, and lights that would suddenly shut off and remain off for several long, deliberate minutes before turning back on by themselves. He describes those moments as the worst part, standing in complete darkness at 4 a.m., waiting, feeling as if something was intentionally holding the room in silence before restoring the light. Then one morning, around 4 a.m., he woke up to the sound of laughter clear enough that his first instinct was to assume it was his TV, but when he checked, the television wasn't even on. Some viewers tried to analyze his situation, but to prove that it wasn't just the house, he decided to leave for a few days and stay at his girlfriend's place. He believed that if the disturbances stopped, then the house was the source. Watch.
So yeah, I've been staying at my girlfriend's house, but guess what, guys? You're not gonna fucking believe it. The ghosts have followed me here. And she's bugging the fuck out. Her mother is bugging the fuck out. And I'm bugging the fuck out. I mean, I guess I should have expected this, but let's just see what's been going on. Her door has been opening in the middle of the night. This closet door has been opening up in the middle of the night, and it's like hard as to open. We put shit in front of it so it wouldn't open. Hearing all types of knocks, hearing people run up and down the stairs. I mean, this house is 100 years old. And then to top it all off, my girlfriend goes in the shower today, and on the mirror it says, "We are here." And the writing is fucked up.
Look at that R. It's like look at that R. Why is it? Oh my god, I'm not doing this shit. I gotta move out. What the? I gotta move out.
Yeah, so that was on the mirror. I mean, it looks like anybody could have written that, But in person, the way it was written is mad weird. It's like squiggly lines. Her mom tried cleaning it with Windex and it wouldn't come off. And then after all that shit happens, her mom goes downstairs, and she's a very religious woman, and she has like this little, I guess, Bible, would you say it is, or what is it? I guess
a regular Bible.
Like a Bible.
I'm also sick. I don't remember.
Yeah. So she goes downstairs and looks at it, and she left it closed. She goes down and looks at it, and it's open on the same exact page that her husband and her father died. The same exact day, May 22nd, it says it in the book.
What it says on the page is very like you were meant to hear it kind of thing. Like it was just like so weird timing and just like a weird page.
So we're thinking maybe her dad is trying to protect them from whatever I brought in their house. What do you guys think?
According to him, his girlfriend and her mother had never experienced anything unusual in that house before he arrived. To him, this isn't a haunted house situation. It's something attached to him, something that follows him wherever he goes. But there's another layer. He mentions that his girlfriend's house is over 100 years old. Some speculate that perhaps his presence didn't bring anything. Maybe it just triggered something already dormant there. In paranormal belief, certain individuals are thought to act as catalysts, unintentionally amplifying or awakening existing energy in a location. Still, what unsettled people most was when he started having dreams.
What's up? So, I've been MIA. I came back from Cancun, and yeah, I'm tan now. But some wild shit happened to me the other night, and my eyes are going a little bit, but I'm here at my girlfriend's house, and it was around, I swear to God, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning.
It was 3:30, like on the dot. It was like 3:20, 3:29, 3:20.
And I started, she said I was freaking out in my sleep.
I woke up to uncontrollably shaking right next to me, like literally freaking out, like not screaming, but like loud enough to wake me. And he was freaking out, shaking like a seizure almost.
Yeah, and I had no recollection of it at all. Nothing.
Said his name about 10 times, wouldn't wake up. I smacked him so hard across the face, and that's when he shot up.
And I woke up, and I told her I had this insane dream that I was in my house, and like, I don't know what happened. I thought I was sleeping in my room, and I started getting carried away by, looked like, I don't know, these dark shadow figures. They had like these big nails and teeth and crazy eyes, and I literally got picked up by them, and they were carrying me away. And then I told her that, and then I was like, yo, I have this crazy pain on my arm, and I shit you not, yo, this is legit, like this is real. Like Grayson here is like freaked out about it, and so am I. Wait till you see this shit, bro. Wait till you see this shit. Look at that shit. Look at that shit. As soon as she woke me up, I felt something like pain on my arm. And look at that. As hard as she scratches, no matter how hard she scratches, it will not go into my arm like that.
No, this is crazy.
Didn't I tell you though, when I woke up my arm was hurting?
Yeah, that's 3.
And it's literally 3 scratches. 2 long ones and a short one.
Vivid dreams involving attack, paralysis, or shadow entities are sometimes interpreted as spiritual oppression, especially when they are accompanied by physical sensations. To make matters worse, he began waking up with unexplained marks on his body, and this made many people believe whatever is in that house is after him. But I'll leave you to be the judge of this one. Now, in this next video, a man is simply filming an update for his followers. He explains that he's recently been uploading more political clips instead of his usual original content because he lost hours at his job and is currently searching for a new one. According to him, political topics are easier to gain traction with, and right now, views matter. While he was filming, this happened. Watch closely.
Alright guys, I'm gonna try and make this one quick. This is just kind of update video. People have been wondering why I've been uploading so many news clips, so many political videos, and why I haven't been uploading any original content lately. As you should know, the American election just happened, and I was getting kind of one video. If you follow my channel, you would know it has 28,000 views. And I tried essentially recreating that and getting a lot of views, through those political videos. Unsuccessfully, might I add. Basically, where I'm getting at is, in order to fill in the lack of original videos, I've been doing these political clip videos. And the reasoning behind that is because here at home, things are a little difficult. I didn't lose my job, but I lost a lot of hours. And I'm looking for new employment, which is inhibiting me from creating new content. Makes it a lot easier for me if I can just, find a video clip of some politician or some news anchor saying something really stupid and get some views from that, than it is. It's easier for me to get views from that than it is, new content at the moment. So, just what I'm saying is bear with me. Yeah. It was weird. Got that on tape. Yeah, that. I know you guys aren't gonna believe that really just happened, but as you can see, there's no one in the room with me here. I've kind of chose this room because it was the only room in my house without someone in here. Yeah, that was guys. This isn't. It's a string, right? But that's just kind of an Ethernet cable. You could, Hey guys, that was pretty weird.
People often claim that activity can begin subtly, small disturbances, objects shifting, electronics malfunctioning, before escalating into something more noticeable. There's also the psychological layer. He mentions stress about work, finances, and change. And in certain beliefs, heightened emotional states are said to amplify unexplained phenomena, as if strong energy draws attention from something unseen. We can only hope this was a one-off situation, and not the beginning of something deciding to make itself known. In the following clip, a group of paranormal investigators acquire 2 dolls from separate owners who both claimed the objects were responsible for disturbing activity inside their homes. According to the previous owners, one of the dolls had been linked to persistent knocking sounds that seemed to follow it from room to room. Lights would flicker whenever it was moved, and one family claimed they repeatedly found it repositioned in places they were certain they hadn't left it. The second doll, the one dressed in a red cloth, was reportedly associated with whispering sounds at night and sudden cold spots that formed specifically around the shelf where it sat. One owner even said her child refused to sleep in the same room with it after insisting the doll blinked. Rather than destroy them, the investigators decided to document everything carefully. They placed both dolls on a table in a controlled setting and began a spirit box session, asking direct questions to see if any responses would come through. That's when something happened. Watch.
Light it back up to red. Look.
No! Bring that camera over here! Oh god, he moved!
Still moving. Did you catch it moving?
I think I did. I don't know. I tried to run.
Again. Look, you see it move? I caught it moving.
If you look closely at the doll with the red cloth, its head appears to shift slightly to the side. It is believed that objects that have been repeatedly associated with fear, attention, and belief can sometimes become what investigators call trigger objects, meaning they act as focal points for activity because of the emotional energy surrounding them. The red cloth itself also caught viewers' attention. In certain folklore traditions, red fabric is believed to either attract or contain spiritual energy, depending on how it's used. If the doll did move on its own, then the implication is clear. Whatever the previous owners were experiencing may not have been imagination. So if something truly is attached to it, then is bringing it into a new environment going to quiet it, or will it simply give it a new audience? Now in this next video, a man named Chris and his wife decided to install security cameras throughout their home after weeks of increasingly strange activity that neither of them could logically explain. It started subtly, small things out of place, the dog staring into corners of the room and growling at nothing visible, footsteps echoing faintly down the hallway after midnight. A few times, they heard what sounded like someone shifting their weight in the living room while they were upstairs. Once, Chris swears he heard a sigh directly behind him when no one was there. Eventually, they stopped brushing it off and installed cameras to see whether the disturbances had a visible source. One night, Chris was sitting in the living room with the dogs resting nearby when something happened that changed how he viewed the house entirely. Watch. In the footage, a chair begins to tilt backward as if someone were physically leaning into it, applying steady pressure with their weight. What makes it more unsettling is the dog's reaction and how they immediately become alert. And then there's the earlier activity, the footsteps, the sigh, the dogs reacting to empty space. When you layer those experiences together, the chair becomes harder to dismiss as coincidence. If someone unseen truly leaned back into that chair, then the implication is chilling. Chris may not have been alone in that living room, but until more updates are shared, this remains a mystery. The following video was recorded by a man who works night shifts at a construction site in the middle of nowhere, a place so quiet that even the smallest sound carries for miles. But lately, he's been noticing something he can't explain, a voice, one that doesn't sound human, but doesn't sound like any animal he knows either. Listen. At first, he assumed it had to be a cat. Stray cats often wander through empty construction zones, and some of their cries can sound disturbingly human. But when he went out to check, there was nothing there. No movement, no glowing eyes in the dark, nothing. What makes this even stranger is the timing. He says it happens almost every night, around the exact same hour, like clockwork. The sound begins suddenly, continues for long stretches, then stops just as mysteriously as it started. In paranormal lore, there are entities often described as wailers, spirits believed to express themselves through crying rather than appearing visually. Some are said to be trapped in a place tied to their final moments, repeating their grief over and over. Others are believed to cry as a way of drawing attention or drawing someone closer. And in cases like this, witnesses often say the most terrifying part isn't seeing something, it's hearing it, knowing it's there, but being completely unable to find it. Before you decide what this might be, listen again. Whatever was crying that night remains a mystery. In this next clip, a man records a video to send to a medium because he's run out of explanations for what's been happening inside his house. Strange movements, reflections that don't match reality, and the constant feeling that he isn't alone. But after watching this footage, even someone with no paranormal background would immediately recognize the source. Watch carefully.
Empecé a grabar porque hace unos días yo sentí que había algo. Realmente yo estoy solo ahorita, pero hace rato vi en ese cuarto como que una sombra. No sé. Vean. Ahí se ve algo. Ay Dios, yo realmente estoy solo. Vean, está completamente solo. Solo estoy yo. No se puede meter nadie aquí por la puerta. No, realmente estoy solo. Ni debajo de la cama, de hecho el espacio es muy... Vean. Ahí se alcanzó a ver algo. Si pueden ver, yo estoy solo. No hay nada, no hay nadie en casa. No hay nadie. De hecho, hace días yo compré este troll porque se supone que aleja toda energía negativa. Pero ya lleva varias noches pasando esto.
As he walks through his home, a human-shaped figure can be seen moving in reflective surfaces, especially mirrors. They don't appear clearly, but you can see the form pass by, and then, moments later, it disappears. The movement doesn't match his position, and there's no one else in the house. Some believe mirrors and glass can act like thin barriers, places where entities can appear briefly without fully entering the physical space. And when something shows up repeatedly in reflections, people start to question whether it's simply passing through or already inside. But then he mentions something else. A troll he recently bought. He explains that the object caught his attention because it was said to absorb evil energy. Objects like this are sometimes referred to as spiritual vessels, items believed to attract, store, or interact with unseen forces. And ever since bringing it into the house, the activity seems to have intensified. It's easy to see why most viewers immediately connected the two. Some of his friends believe the figure might actually be the troll itself, not physically moving, but spiritually active, carrying out the purpose it was meant for, cleansing the space. But others strongly disagree. Whatever it is, it doesn't stay in one place, and its repeated appearances suggest it could be dangerous, feeding on energy, or even trying to manipulate the household. But I'll let you be the judge. Is this a protective spirit doing its work, or something far more dangerous? Now this next video circulated over 15 years ago, and to this day, it still unsettles people who've seen it. One night, a group of teenagers decided to break into a funeral home, a place most people wouldn't even feel comfortable walking past after dark. Funeral homes are quiet by design. They're places where bodies are prepared, preserved, and kept overnight, sometimes for days. And many believe that when someone passes, whatever part of them lingers doesn't always leave immediately. They began recording, expecting nothing more than an empty building. But what they captured was absolutely terrifying. Watch.
The fuzz is here. Stop, stop. Cops over there. See him? Focus, focus.
Go in the back here.
Alright, dude, let's just go. I don't think he's looking at us. Let's go, let's go. Dude, it's a sensor light. It's a sensor. Don't worry. Just give it a nudge.
Break it? Holy shit.
Nice! Alright, shh.
I don't know about this, guys.
Dude, creepy place. Don't be a weirdo.
Dude, let's go in here. Yeah, let's check this out.
Shh. Hold up, let me get a night shot. Oh, it is a night shot. Go. Yeah.
What the f?
Oh my god.
This is scary.
It feels colder in this room. It seriously feels
Dude,
colder.
I can feel that.
Dude,
that's
this place
nuts.
is haunted. I'm telling you, this
It
place
smells
is
different.
You smell those flowers?
It smells
There's
like
not
an
even any
old
flowers
person's
in here.
house.
It's freaking crazy. Dude, did you see that?
Dude, what the fuck? Dude, did you see it? I saw that. I
Oh
saw
my
that.
God. What was that, a tissue?
Fucking man. Let's get out of here. No way that happened.
At first, everything seems still. Then suddenly, something moves beside the lampstand. That moment alone was enough to send panic through the group. They were already backing away, ready to leave, when one of them made a decision that would make things worse. He walked further inside, hoping to find something, anything, that could explain what they'd just seen. Instead, this happened.
That tissue tripped me up.
Dude, what
God. Let's get the f out of here already. Why are we here still? What are you doing, man? Let's go.
Come on, let's check this out.
You're the only one out of place.
No way, that's just a coincidence.
Did you get it? Did you get it on tape?
Well, yeah, I think I got it.
This is f***ed up.
No, man, let's get out of here. I'm tired of it. What the f, man? Dude, what is that? Jeremy, where'd you go, man?
What the?
Fuck out, go.
Crazy.
God damn it.
Why are we going downstairs?
We didn't
Just
have
go,
to
just
climb
go.
upstairs. Shit, just look for the hangs in a window or something.
Oh, this is great, man. Just fucking great.
Let's get away out of here. Let's get out of here.
Let's go. Just look around for a window or something.
Maybe over here.
Look.
Fuck, man.
Oh my God.
Nothing. Turn around. Other way.
All
Let's
right.
get the f out of here.
Holy shit. Whoa.
Funeral homes hold more than silence. They hold the last physical presence of people who were alive just days earlier. And workers in these places have quietly shared stories for years. Unexplained footsteps in preparation rooms, doors opening where no one entered, and the heavy feeling of being watched when alone. Some believe places like this carry residual energy, especially in rooms where bodies are kept overnight, where emotions from families, grief, and death itself concentrate. Till today, whatever caused all these remains a mystery. The following video was recorded by a woman named Simone during what was supposed to be a normal evening walk. On her way home, she passed a strange building she'd never paid attention to before. The place looked abandoned, quiet in a way that didn't feel normal. Even from outside, she couldn't shake the feeling that someone was inside, watching her. The anxiety hit so suddenly that she didn't even stop to question it. She just left. A few evenings later, she passed the same building again, and this time, she heard something that stopped her cold. A voice, and it sounded exactly like her sister calling her name. Watch.
I don't know why the lights are on, but I'm going inside of this house. I just heard my sister's voice, and I'm sick of this. And I need to figure out what's going on so I can put a stop to it. The fuck? Why is this chair in the middle of the floor?
Mimicking entities are known for doing exactly this, copying voices of people you trust to lower your guard and pull you closer. They don't need to show themselves right away. The voice alone is enough. The moment she entered, she noticed a chair sitting in a strange position, like it had been moved recently. And before she could even finish explaining what she was seeing, the figure appeared, briefly, but enough to confirm something was there with her. After that encounter, Simone tried to convince herself it was tied to the building. But soon after, things started happening in her own home. Banging sounds at night, footsteps when she was alone, whispers with no clear source, and an overwhelming feeling of fear that would come out of nowhere. One day, a friend came over after hearing everything, and this happened.
Hey guys, it's Simone again.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So I'm here with my friend Lexi, and I thought that this was over, but it's still happening. Something from this entity is still trying to get to me, so...
I thought you were kidding.
No.
Like, this is horrible.
I'm not kidding.
I don't know how you've been living like this. This is literally, like... I've checked this door 5 times. There's no way anyone is in the backyard.
Yeah. So, still going on, and I just wanted to come back and report to you guys that it's still impacting my life every day.
I'm so sorry. This is insane.
Here's the unsettling theory. If the activity followed Simone home, then this may not be about a haunted location anymore. It could be attachment. When something fixates on a person instead of a place, it's hard to walk away from something like this without answers. But Simone isn't ready to stop investigating until she understands what's happening. The following clip comes from a family living near old gypsum and coal mining land, right on the edge of the Appalachian Mountains, in a home that's been passed down through generations. This isn't some new place with no history. Their parents lived there, their grandparents lived there, and it was always considered part of the family. But lately, it hasn't felt that way. Some days, the house is completely normal. Other days, things happen that no one can explain. Footsteps when no one's moving, voices when no one's speaking, and the constant feeling that something else is inside with them. One afternoon, things escalated. Watch closely.
What'd you hear?
I heard a help or something.
On the back porch.
There's one back there.
Okay, hold on.
And then it's like I heard Lila's voice say it, and then I heard Dad just say hey, and I didn't do anything about it because I don't know.
Sissy's voice?
Yes. and then I heard some whistling.
I need you. Okay. I need you to. Okay. All right. I'm going to stay upstairs because Gunnar is freaked out. He's freaked out. All right. It was loud, and it was Lila.
I heard Dad's voice just say, "Hey."
Yeah. So there's two different voices on the back porch. I'm not opening the door. I am upstairs with Gunnar right now. There's nobody out there, Michael. There's nobody out there. Okay. All right, I love you too.
The little boy suddenly reacts to his father's voice calling out, but his dad isn't home yet. He's still on his way back. His mother immediately senses something isn't right. She didn't open the door, and she didn't check outside. Instead, she gathers the dogs, trusting her instinct that whatever called out wasn't him. Then she hears this. Listen carefully.
Oh my God. Why is my door opening?
A voice clearly says, "Help," and then the door starts shaking violently, like something is trying to come in. Then this happens.
Don't. Oh my gosh. Tay, Sarge, get over here, baby. Come on. My house is really dark. Tays, leave her alone. They're all froze.
When she says, "Look at the dogs," viewers noticed something disturbing in the background. A faint voice saying, "Don't look, they're mine." That's when people began connecting the pattern. First, it mimics the father's voice. Then it uses distress, saying "help," to trigger a response. Then it uses possessive language, "they're mine." And finally, it tries to force entry. This isn't a random activity, and in regions around old Appalachian mining land, stories like this aren't uncommon. Folklore often speaks of entities that don't show themselves right away. Instead, they imitate, they observe, and they wait for recognition. Because once you respond, once you acknowledge them, that's when they get closer. So what do you think? Is this house truly haunted, or is there another explanation for all that has happened? In this next video, Kyle, someone who's already dealt with one strange incident after another, is still trying to figure out what, if anything, connects all of it. Just when things seemed to calm down and the activity finally stopped, a new puzzle surfaced. Listen closely.
Listen. There's a voice coming from under the floor again. It's cold out here. This hasn't happened in a while. Okay. Close it back. I don't get it. I mean, things were quiet. They were, well, they were,
What makes this unsettling is how much it sounds like children playing inside his crawl space. Laughter, footsteps, faint giggles, all when the house is otherwise completely silent. What makes it worse is the timing. Kyle says he'd finally had several quiet days. No disturbances, no strange sounds, nothing to suggest whatever had been bothering him was still around. He started to believe the activity had passed, that maybe it really was over. And then this happens. Some people who follow Kyle's experiences closely say that when things go quiet, it isn't because whatever's there is gone, it's because it's waiting for the perfect moment to show itself again. Others speculate that whatever's causing this could be hiding in the crawl spaces or attic corners, places most people never think about. Small, tight areas where something could lurk, unseen, listening, maybe even feeding off the energy in the house. The very idea of something unseen pacing in crawl spaces or above your head at night is enough to make your skin crawl. Kyle is hoping this was just a one-off incident, a fleeting echo of what's come before. But after everything he's already experienced, the noises, the moving objects, the whispers that have followed him from room to room, it's not something he's willing to bet on. He knows better than anyone that whatever is in his home doesn't just go away. And for viewers watching this now, you can almost feel it. The quiet is never really quiet. Something is still there, just out of sight, and it's only a matter of time before it decides to make itself known again. Now this next clip was captured by a doorbell camera, and when the footage was revealed, it left viewers absolutely stunned. Watch closely. In the video, a shadow runs, but there's no one around. Half the people who've seen this are convinced it's paranormal, suggesting it could be a shadow entity or some residual energy replaying in that space. Others argue it's just a reflection, a trick of the lens, or some kind of glitch. But as always, I'll leave it to you to decide. Could this be a harmless shadow, or is something far more unsettling creeping around unseen? The following video was recorded by a team of paranormal investigators in Carson City as they explored one of the state's oldest operating hotels, the St. Charles Hotel. This place has a long and unsettling history. Over the years, there have been multiple documented deaths within the building, including reports of self-harm and unexplained incidents that have left certain rooms with a reputation no guest wants to stay in for long. Staff and visitors have shared stories of footsteps in empty hallways, voices behind closed doors, and sudden temperature drops or spikes that seem to come out of nowhere. Some even claim that certain rooms feel overwhelmingly heavy, like stepping into a space where something hasn't fully moved on. So when investigators Patrick and Jason arrived, they already knew they might experience something unusual, but they didn't expect it to happen almost immediately. Watch.
Door.
Whoa.
What did it say? 198, 313.
Whew. Near logical creature.
313 degrees.
Can you make this box go off some more?
82.
Over here.
What the hell? Dude, there was somebody, 503. Dude, I went back in here and it went to 503. If I should leave, can you make this go to just really, really hot? If I should get out of here, 500, this went to 500, 150, 590. Did you get it?
I'm sure I did.
Do you know? Oh, it's so hot in 224.
172.
Dude, it is
179.
Are you right here? Yeah. No, it's like holding my hand right now. It's like hot right around my hand.
It's super hot right here.
And it's holding there.
Something flashed on the SLS too. Can you make that go even higher? Make it. Yeah. It smells like it's on fire. Yeah. 151. Are you on fire?
39.
Is it going back down?
40. 111. 172. 151. Yeah, it hasn't stuck this like this ever.
No.
Inside the room, the temperature begins to fluctuate rapidly, rising and falling in a way that doesn't match normal environmental changes. And as time goes on, the energy in the space feels different, heavier, and more intense. It reaches a point where even they decide they've had enough. But just before they left, they capture something neither of them can explain. Watch closely.
There appears to still be quite a bit of activity inside the St. Charles Hotel, and even some guests that never checked out.
Right after a strange light anomaly appears, something else happens. A white, shadow-like figure can be seen quickly moving and then disappearing into the bathroom. And this is where things start to get really unsettling. People think it could be tied to the building's past, possibly the spirit of someone who once occupied that very room, still lingering, still moving through familiar spaces. But there's another theory that's been circulating, that the light anomaly may have been a kind of manifestation point, a moment where whatever was there gathered enough energy to briefly take form before disappearing again. So what do you think that was? A trick of the light, or something that didn't want to be seen for long?